Seems like money's just hemorrhaging out right now. Woo! It is cold out there, guys. It is freezing out there. I just came up here from Atlanta, and it was about -5 coming through Kentucky. And you know what? I just felt like, you know what? I haven't done a vlog in a long time. So let's go ahead and start one. It might take me a month to compile the entire vlog, but I thought, let's do it. Let's do a vlog. And so I'm starting the vlog. What's going on, guys? It's cold. Just came back from Atlanta. See how many times I can repeat myself. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we were down in Atlanta. It was really cold down there. Anyways, I'm in the pick-em-up truck. We're going to go home and go to Harrisburg tonight. So we're going to be running into some snow coming, I don't know, tomorrow night at some point. Friday morning. Can't get out of the snow, man. This winter, I tell you what, it's just been a winter so far. It's been a winter. All right, let's go home. That ain't too shabby for a 6,000-pound pickup truck. Not bad at all. Yeah, that probably wasn't smart, but hey, that was fun. It was fun. All right, guys, we're back. This thing's gonna take a lot more fuel than usual. It has been a windy couple of weeks, and going down to Atlanta and back up here, that's more miles than usual for a round for me. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's been a long time since this truck has gotten below a quarter of a tank of fuel. In fact, I don't know if it's ever gotten that low. But we're here, fill up. Probably take about 170 gallons, 175, somewhere around there. Let's see. Like I said, this wind, though, it's been an absolute killer on fuel mileage. Absolute killer. And not to mention the weather, aside from the wind, like the snow going down through Tennessee yesterday and all that fun stuff. That doesn't help either. Got bozos like that hot shot right there taking up a freaking fuel lane. I'll tell you what, guys, truck stop etiquette is not strong these days. Well, it took a little less than I thought. That's good. Alright, so right there was my fuel economy over the last 1,087 miles, at least according to the computer. Yeah, that's pretty bad for this truck. Really bad, actually. Yeah, there's a lot more idle hours than normal, too, and that's because of how cold it was. And, you know, being as cold as it was, even though I'd run my APU at night, I would run the truck and idle it up to about 1,000 RPM for about anywhere from, like, you know, close to an hour or so. It's overkill, but I like to get all the fluids nice and warm before they go through everything. So yeah, anyway, that's where it's at right now. We'll see what it is for paper. Nope, sorry. Good to go. Pull forward here so somebody else can get some fuel when they need to. Not bad. All right, back to And that's about what I'm getting at the moment, since I started my truck up tonight. So, yeah. Typically, I don't let it idle for more than a half an hour, but I started it up this morning, and I fell back asleep. So, yeah, she idled for like an hour and a half. So that was a big chunk of that 5 hours right there in the idle time. Way more than usual. Can't forget my coffee. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Got my coffee here. Let's go fill her up. Filled up the tanks on the truck. Now I got to fill this thing up. Yeah, she is a mess. All right, let's go inside and get some coffee and my receipt. All right, time to blow this pop stand. Got my coffee. I am good to go. I don't know about you guys, but kind of a snob when it comes to my coffee. And I put some white chocolate mocha cappuccino in my coffee. So good. So good. All right. Finally starting to work at that warehouse. That warehouse was like vacant forever. Oh yeah, let's turn the headlights on. Boom, there we go, that's better. It's amazing how much brighter they are when they're clean. God, look how pretty that sunrise is. Wow. I love it. Perk of the job right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a perk of the job. That's gorgeous. I'm telling you guys, I'm on a 6% downgrade right now. And for a little 13-liter engine, that engine brake with 40,000 pounds in the box holds this truck back pretty good. No brakes, no nothing, just engine brake. Not bad. All right, just went and stopped for some lunch for my 30-minute break. And you know, protein is pretty much the main objective for every meal anymore since I've had that surgery. And this right here is a great case, a great example of what I do for my protein now. Since I'm able to eat better, I'm able to actually, you know, take in food more. And this right here will absolutely fill me up. In fact, I don't know if I'll even be able to eat all of it. But yeah, you know, like I said, protein's a big part of it now. Yep, this is what I do right here. I just use lettuce now for lettuce wraps. But I've got some ham. I've got 2 slices of Swiss cheese. I've got some shredded cheddar. And then I've got some one of those tuna pouches. That's bacon ranch tuna pouch. I put it all on there, and I do put a little bit of drizzle of ranch dressing on it. And then I forgot to do some of this, put that on there as well. And all that just really concentrates on the protein And this whole thing right now, I mean, just the cheese alone with the Swiss and the Parmesan and the cheddar, just the cheese alone, I want to say is going to be around 20, like 15 to 20 grams of protein. And then of course I've got this right here, which is 15 grams of protein. And then however many grams of protein is in, you know, 3 slices of ham. So, but yeah, it's pretty good. Just wanted to show you guys what I do on the road now when I try to eat. Last week I actually used, did the same thing as I'm doing now, but with a turkey cheddar flavored hot dog. Same thing, combined it with the tuna. Just like I said, a phenomenal concentrated protein meal, protein rich meal. And it's very easy, doesn't take up much space in the fridge. You know, I've got my bag of lettuce right here. Even if you're not a you know, bariatric sleeve patient like I am, it's just a healthier way to eat in the truck. You know, using the lettuce as a wrap instead of tortilla wrap type deal, a breaded wrap. Even though those aren't that bad because, you know, they're thin bread, but either way, this is just that much better. And you know, you buy these big leaves of lettuce and they hold up. I mean, it's got that hot ham in there with the hot cheese and everything. It's not breaking through the lettuce or anything. It's good. It's delicious. Like I say, you know, treat it just like a typical burrito or a typical wrap of anything, and it's just a great way to eat, in my opinion. Not a fancy meal. It's not like a fancy cooking show. Cooking in the truck with Survive to Thrive. No cooking. No cooking necessary. Just a little bit of assembly and you're good to go. I'll tell you, that ham does it. That ham absolutely makes this wrap here very savory. And then my drink, what the hell is wrong with me? My drink of choice right here, Body Armor Light. Low calorie, no sugar added. But that does mean that there's still a little bit of sugar in there. But there's just, you know, like more just from the juices and whatnot. They didn't add any specifically. At least that's what they say. But that does not mean it's sugar-free. Don't get, so many people get confused by no sugar added and sugar-free. Sugar added or no sugar added means that there's still sugar in there, but they didn't add sugar during the process of, you know, bottling it. But sugar-free means just that. Sugar-free, no sugar. So just keep that in mind. But 20 calories for the whole bottle, which I don't even drink the whole bottle at one time. You know, of course, 0 protein in this, but it is what it is. But this is just a very good drink. You know, I'm not a huge light Gatorade fan. You know, like the low calories, no calorie Gatorade. Not a huge fan of it. But this stuff is a whole new ball game. Oh, that looks much better. That's barely on the pedal, by the way. Ah, that Mitsubishi's killing me. Out of the way. Raindrops. All right, guys, we are here. We're going to go ahead and I got to change a leveling valve out on the Peterbilt. So we'll go ahead and just take care of that real quick. This was kind of a sad day right here. And right there. Yeah, somebody backed up into my boss's truck when he was in Petro in Carlisle. He was driving, he was leaving the Petro, and somebody backed right up into him. Sad day, man. He's waiting to get that all fixed up. But yeah, got him pretty good. Hit him with a bobtail. And the frame rails on the bobtail, that's what did the damage. The frame rails on the bobtail stuck out, really sharp, jagged edges. Did all of that. Bad day right there. But the valve I'm talking about that needs replaced on here, leveling valve right back here. This guy right here. Sure, it's original equipment to the truck, but yep, we gotta take those fittings and everything out of there, replace it. What it's doing is, if you lower the airbags to pull out from under a trailer, this exhaust right here, that little exhaust flap will stick open and it won't build air. So we're just gonna go ahead and replace it. Just FYI, if you ever have to replace one of these parts, and just about almost any part on a truck, get the part number from the dealership and then shop around, because the dealership is going to be outrageously expensive. And I actually found the part that I need at Truck Pro here in the Cincinnati area, and the one at the dealership, it's like almost $400. At Truck Pro, I got it for $116, $120 with tax. So that's not a bad deal. Hendrickson. So yeah, we just got to take that valve off, put a new one on. First off, let's dump the airbags so that they're depleted of air. Oh, that way they don't drop on me when I do that, you know. I guess I gotta have the truck on. All right, let's turn the truck on. All right, now let's drop the air. Yeah, see how that flap is up now? You can close it, and then you can close that flap and play with it, and you know, like with your hand, with your finger, and that's what it was doing. It just won't close sometimes. So anyways, let these deplete with air, and then we'll get to it, and then I'll dump the air out of the tanks too, just so I have as little air feeding into it as possible. All right, looks like the nut to take off of the back These nuts right here on the back that mount to the bracket here. It looks like these are 11 mil, and this nut was a 10 mil. So just so you know. Don't forget where these air lines go. It's pretty easy to remember because you got one from each rear airbag, and then you got one for the dump, which is on the end here, and then you got the inlet, which is right here, the feed line. The feed line's thickest. It's the thicker one, at least on my truck. It's got a thick, much thicker casing. Whoops. Don't forget the orientation that goes on too. Let me just for the hex of it, let me take a picture. All right, here it be. It's the old one. Now I just think I got to take the fittings off of this one and use them in the new one. But be smarter than me. If you don't have a vise to put the new or the old valve in to hold on to it while you're taking out the old fittings here, leave it in the bracket. I had to put it back in the bracket, sort of. So put it back in the bracket so I can go ahead and unscrew these valves. Got all of them out but the big one yet. I don't know what size that is. Actually, let me see if I can use... Will this guy work? Probably not, but we'll see. Oh, it did work. Heck yeah. Who needs the right tool when you got the wrong tool? All right, now we got them all in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this valve and just spray some PB Blaster WD-40 in there and let it kind of soak in there. And I'll use it as a spare because it works most of the time. So if my new one fails, I'll have a backup. It's just the smart thing to do. Take these nuts off here. So glad I just took a shower. That's smart. Oh no, I lost the washer. Oh, I'll get it. I see it. I sees it. Here be the old one. Inside, all the good stuff. Alright. Let's get the new one thrown on there. Comes with some very detailed directions. Don't need those. So, thanks to a buddy of mine who explained all this to me, another friend of mine, Mike Kaler, who actually works here as well with me. Alright, let me see. Pretty self-explanatory anyways. Here's the new one. Alright. And here's the end. You put the dump in, the dump valve in rather. Yep. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get it on there. Nifty. So it's gonna go. It's gonna sit. Wheel. A little different than. Okay. I think I need to reverse these bolts here so that they will, I need to put these into these holes so that it sits further back on the bracket. So we'll go ahead and do that. Of course, now I need a hex key. I don't think I have a hex key for this. That sucks. Or a Allen wrench, I mean key. I don't think I have one here. Ain't that just awesome? Okay, well, we'll figure this out. All right, I have an idea. I have a great idea. I'm at the shop right now at Penske. I'll just ask them if they have a Allen wrench I can borrow real quick and get those bolts reversed. All right, got it done. They were nice enough in there. They did it for me. But yep, see, just had to change that around so this arm doesn't stick out as far. At least I think I did. Maybe I could have made it work without doing that, but figured I'd just be 100% sure. Why not? Because I guess now that I look at it, there's like 3 different holes on that arm. So maybe I didn't have to. Oh well. Oh well. I'd rather have it look as original to the original part as I could. All right. Let's get this one on there and hope it airs up. And boy, I'll tell you some more stuff I got to spend money on this truck. You'll love it. At least we got a pretty day to do this. Make sure you don't cross thread these guys. I should probably get the right wrench. All right, let's do that. I'm not sure what size it is, but it's a big one. Maybe a 5/8. Negatory Ghost Rider. Maybe an 11/16. If it's not this, I don't have the right size. Bummer, I don't have the right size. Well, let me see what I can do here. No dice. That's a big one. All right, let's see. Guess I'll keep going with the wrong tool. All right, now we just gotta put these all in the right order here. This one here goes from the airbag right here to this one here. Actually, let me put spray a little oil on there. Just because. Alright. Of course, then you got this big fat one right here. This one will go in the big fat fitting. Now you just got to make sure you know. Like I said, this right here says, it'll say dump on the end here. So obviously that is not going to be. It's called the process of elimination. It will not be for this bag over here because it's for the dump. So this one here goes around to the frame. So this one's for the dump. This one is for the bag. Got a good little. Oh shoot! Let me. I went on there. Forgot to lube that hose, but it went right in, no problem. Is that gonna stay on there? Yes, it is. Cool. All right, let's start the truck up and see if she'll air up. Yep, got the new valve all set up. Got the air lines back in there. Like I said, this right here is for the airbag on the passenger side. And then this is your dump line right here. And then, of course, the big fat one is the feed line. And then the bottom one right here is obviously for the left bag. And this is all the stuff that came with the new valve, none of which was actually useful to me. Don't need it. One more step. We can't forget to put the arm back on, the leveling arm back on the valve, or else that won't really work too well. And like I said, this was a 10 mil. So I hope you guys can find your 10 mil because you need it here. She's good, she's on there. Now let's go start the truck and let it air up. Go ahead and turn this dump valve back on. All right, just let me know that I got my air pressure is low. Let's fire her up. Alright, now once the system builds with air, they should start to rise. I don't want to hear an air leak or anything though, that's the important thing. I can still hear my air compressor going, so she's still putting air in the tank. I completely drained the tanks, so that way I wouldn't have too much air to worry about. So it'll take a minute. And then assuming there's no leaks, once it starts to rise, as soon as this bar becomes perfectly horizontal with the cross member and whatnot, that's when it's where it should be, and that's when it'll stop feeding air into the bags. Feel a leak right there. Now when I reverse these bolts, this may not have got really, you can see a gap right there. I'm gonna have to tighten that some more. All right, we got it on. What happened earlier, there was a leak coming out of the diaphragm, and those Allen wrench bolts were not really in there all the way, so there was a little bit of a gap on the well, I'll just show you. Right here, where we got the black and the gray, right there, that line, there's a little bit of a gap. Why are you going down on me? What? Well, that's weird. Oh man, guys, what's up? Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about the repair I made on the truck yesterday, but just wanted to chime in a little bit here. Tip culture is out of hand. Holy cow, is it out of hand. This is going to probably stir some people up. But, yeah, I was just up here in the service plaza on the toll road. And this isn't something I do very often. In fact, I haven't done this since before my surgery. But I went and I got a Whopper, single patty Whopper. I've always loved those sandwiches, and I've been craving one here lately. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and treat myself and get one. The whole order, the whole method of ordering your food there is on a kiosk. There's nobody at the counter really. It's just, you just order from the kiosk. So you're doing it all yourself. And there were jars that were saying tips. There were tip jars beside the kiosks that you put your own order in and never talk to a single person to order. Why? Why have we gotten so ridiculous about tip culture? Why does everybody feel that they're entitled to a tip? I mean, it's unbelievable to me. That's one of the things that just bugs me. It's like, why? I mean, I know a lot of these videos you see online are just fake, like the Uber drivers and things like that, where they don't get a tip. It's all staged. A lot of that's staged. But there are some cases like that. You know, it's like, you are not entitled to a tip. And when you're not even doing the work and you still ask for a tip with a tip jar, and I just paid like $9 for a single sandwich. You know, $9 for a sandwich. I didn't get fries, I didn't get a drink, nothing, just the sandwich. $9. And they're asking for a tip. It's just insane. Anyway, I'm going to get on down the road. I'll catch up back with you guys here in a little bit, and we'll talk about what I did to the truck yesterday, and what I've been having to do to it lately, and what I have to do to it on Monday. Welcome back. I am now parked for the night. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and kind of say, let that be a reminder. Even if you have a brand new part straight out of the box, it can still be defective. And that seems to be happening more and more and more as build quality of everything is just going downhill. It's a very simple device. The leveling valve on your truck, there's no electronics in it. There's no anything. It's all air operated. It's got a dump air line, it's got the feed line, and it's got, on that particular valve, it has a line going from that to each of the rear two airbags. That's it. Very simple device. I noticed as soon as I put it on and I let my truck build air back up, it never reinflated the airbags. I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. And so I went inside and I flipped the switch back, I flipped it off and back on to see if that would do anything, and it did. That created that it aired up immediately. So I'm like, okay, maybe it was just kind of a glitch. But then I'm standing back there, as I'm recording, and you saw it plain as day as I'm recording. It just starts deflating, like somebody hit the dump valve switch on the dashboard. Came up here, played with the switch again, and it came back up. So it doesn't make any sense. I racked my brain. I'm like, well, what the heck could be doing that? The only, I pulled the dump line back off of it, and when I flipped the switch up here with the dump line, it shot air out of the dump line, so it's not the switch. I'm sure there's probably some sort of a valve inside of there that when you dump it, it shoots air into there, and it opens up that valve, and it lets all the air come out of the exhaust on the valve. And then that's, how it deflates the airbags. And there just had to have been a glitch with that valve somewhere, because I went ahead and redid everything, and I put the old valve back on, because my old valve is, for the most part, it's just kind of intermittently bad, and it's only bad if I dump it, which again, that kind of makes the switch sound like the common denominator in the problem, but it's not, because like I said, it's a fully mechanical switch. It's not electronic. I mean, yeah, it'll set something off on the dashboard here to let you know that the switches or that the airbags are down, but the actual deflating the bags and everything, that's all mechanical. What the old one does is if I deflate it, to pull out from under a trailer, then it won't reinflate. So, I have to, it'll just, like the exhaust valve will just stay stuck open on the old valve. So I shut the truck off, and when I shut the truck off, somehow, it closes that exhaust valve and it raises the air back up. I don't know why. So I just don't drop the bags right now, at least with that old valve. But as soon as I put that old valve back on and the truck aired back up, the airbags aired back up. There was no hiccup. There was no anything. Airbags came right back up. And then when I hit the dump switch, airbags dumped perfectly. But the old one, or the new one that I put on there, even once I got it up to the point where it needed to be, if I hit the dump switch, it wouldn't dump the airbags. So yeah, it was defective. But just kind of goes to show, it's a good lesson that don't overlook the simplest things. You put a new part on your vehicle, whether it's a car or a truck, whatever it is, and it still doesn't work, that does not mean that you diagnosed it wrong. That does not mean that you did something wrong. But that's what you want to think automatically, because it's a brand new part right out of the box. How could it be that part? But it can be, and it's more and more often these days. Ask any mechanic. It's happening way too often where a brand new part out of the box is defective. Quality control of these parts are going way downhill, and it shows. Put a brand new part on and it's worse than the part you're replacing. The truck, though, on the other hand, how it's been doing here lately. A couple weeks ago, I spent $3,600. Well, about 3 weeks ago, I spent $3,600 on new kingpins and a new whole tie rod assembly. And their alignment machine was down, so I had to take it somewhere else to get the alignment done once they did that. Couldn't get anybody right away. So I drove the truck for about a week, a little bit like that. Got it in somewhere to get the alignment done. $500 to get the alignment done because they had to put a shim in the right on the right spring hanger. They had, or not the hanger, but the right spring. They had to put a shim in there. That was like $120 on top of the alignment itself, which the alignment itself was about $300, and there were a couple other parts they had to throw in there. Altogether came out to a little bit over $500. Truck drove great. I'm like, cool. The alignment was better than it had ever been, honestly. I needed to get my DOT annual done. Took it to my shop in town there. They couldn't pass it. And I'm like, why not? You know, what's wrong? They're like, well, the bushings on your front springs are just garbage. I asked them, I said, well, are the bushings a serviceable item on their own? They said, it's just not, they are, but it's not worth it when you factor in the time. So I got to get 2 new springs for the truck. And they also said the carrier bearing was a little loose, so they're, going to replace the carrier bearing. So there's $2,500 more and another alignment that's going to need done. So I literally wasted $500 on the alignment that I just had done a week and a half ago. That's really infuriating, but what can you do, right? They're replacing the leaf springs. You got to have an alignment done after they do that. So yeah, it's just very, very disappointing, I can say. There's going to be another $2,500 plus dollars. Just seems like money's just hemorrhaging out right now. Most of the stuff is just typical wear and tear stuff, so it's not necessarily PACCAR related. The only PACCAR related issue I've had was, and it's a big one, but the only PACCAR related issue I've had was the cam, which was covered under warranty. But I've put a lot of money into this truck here. It'll have, by the time this is done, in the last 3 months, it will have had all the filters baked. It will have had a brand new clutch put in. It will have had basically a whole rebuild, minus the cylinder packs, because it'll have a whole, it has a new cam, new oil cooler, all sorts of new parts, all new seals and gaskets, all about the engine, kingpins, new tie rod assembly, both new leaf springs, new carrier bearing, which carrier bearing is nothing. It's $90 for the part and like an hour's worth of labor. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff. The radiator, let's not forget the radiator. Damn near the whole front of this truck is going to be like brand new. Ridiculous. It's a good thing, but it's crazy. So let's just hope for more miles out of this thing. I know people are going to have their opinions about it in the comments, and it is what it is. But when I bought my international, I bought my Freightliner at the same mileage that I bought this truck. So that's kind of why I thought, hey, it'd be great. It should be all right. I had that Cascadia. I bought that with about 450,000 miles. This one had 430 on it when I bought it. That Cascadia, I drove it to 890,000 miles or so abouts. So I put well over 400,000 miles on that truck. And I did have a couple large expensive breakdowns. I had the transmission I had to rebuild, and I had one of the rear ends that needed to be replaced. But it never, it never had any engine issues. I never had to replace a single fuel injector on that truck. I didn't have to replace the leaf springs on that truck until right before I sold it. Like right before I sold it. In fact, it was in the shop to get new leaf springs when it sold. So, kind of funny there. But, so it's like some items on that, I don't know if they were just better built. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, of course they were. But you would think a bushing is a bushing for the most part. No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I even regret buying this truck. I'm still happy with this truck. but it does seem like, you know, maybe the Cascadia had a bunch of stuff done to it right before I bought it. I don't know. And maybe this truck has never had any of this stuff done to it, so it just kind of all hit it at once. This mileage, I don't know. I'm still optimistic with my truck. It's just because right now, in my opinion, the miles really aren't that high. I'm at 550,000 on it right now. It's suffered a catastrophic failure. It was under warranty. Somebody made a comment on one of my last videos saying that these trucks don't last till 600,000 miles. And you know what? I hope it doesn't last till 600,000 miles. Because it'll be under warranty. I'll get a whole new engine. So if the thing craps out on me at 599,999 miles, cool. I'll get a brand new engine. That's fine. It'll be under warranty. But yeah, like I said, that's what's been going on with the truck. Like I said, don't think that just because you have a brand new part doesn't mean that part didn't go bad or wasn't bad from the get-go. Those valves like I used, they're such a simple part, you know, but obviously it was defective. We'll go and get off here, guys. I'm tired. I don't know if I'm even gonna have any dinner. That Whopper I had pretty much did me for the day. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna get off here and relax and rest and I guess edit this. But you guys all have a good one out there. Be safe. Keep surviving to thrive. And we will see you guys all on the next video. Later. Stay tuned. We'll get this figured out. Have a good day.